Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the British Harrier GR.3 sitting at 9.7 battle rating, and this is the regular 3 Harrier for the Brits. There were 2 added, of course. The premium one, the GR1, we already reviewed. That is the one with the SRAMs, and this plane has no SRAMs. It has 2 AIM 9Gs sidewinders. And the Gs are a big step down from the SRAMs, big step down. And it's unfortunate because from my experience, the Harrier in the premium Harrier was really coursing in, relying on the SRAMs to be very efficient. And because you had 4, you usually got at least 1, but often 2 planes, and I mean sometimes you miss a missile here and there, but 3 was also very possible. Then you had the guns, and then you felt like you were very steady and safe with the GR1. With the GR3 here, in the regular line, you have the same battle rating, but you don't have the same offensive missile capability. And it is what gave the GR1 its edge, in my opinion. Now this plane is slightly faster and it does have flares, but all in all the SRAMs is what made the Harrier very special and very strong. And I personally feel that the regular Harriers with their regular missiles, the Gs, the AIM 9Gs, those Harriers are not very special. They are just regular planes. They can compete, but they're nothing special. And yeah, that's my opinion. Of course, it's open to debate. There's still some very good sides to the Harrier, but it has its downsides as well. And without the SRAMs, this thing feels a lot less OP, or not OP at all, actually. The maximum speed in this GR3 is slightly better than the GR1, about 5 to 8 kilometers. At lower altitudes it's a little better, it's around 8. 1121 at sea level without the afterburner or whatever, the WEP. I'm not even sure if technically it's an afterburner on this plane, but you do have war emergency power and it does give you a little bit of an edge. 1126 with it. Then at 4500 meters they'll go up to 873 without and 878 with, and finally at 6500 meters they'll go up to 767 with the WEP and 771 without. So yeah, the speeds are better than the GR1, but not by much. It's only a tidbit there. Top speeds in the dive are the same, 1132 before she redlines and 1225 before she rips apart. And the control stiffening lies in the same range. This plane has a little bit of a different nose, but the 950 kilometers an hour when she gets her first stick in the roll rate, and the 1100 with the more compression coming in, then they are the same. And this plane stays very functional with the elevator and the roll rate, even at 1100 and going over the red line. Very possible to get the guns on target with this plane, and she's just very good with the roll rate. It is very competitive there. It is like like a very nice combination of the roll rate, although that is not added to with the turn time, unfortunately, which is absolutely terrible, but we'll get to that. The stall speed in the plane lies around the same 100, although it seems to be slightly later because of the better engine. It is only about 95, so the difference is minute. 95 or 100 stall speed, it doesn't really matter, but it's around 100. Firepower in the plane, in this plane it is not too great. The GR1 has fantastic firepower with those SRAM missiles, really excellent. But this one only has the 2 AIM 9G sidewinders, and then added to that the 2 30mm Aiden Mark IV with 200 rounds per gun. He has 60 flares, which is nice for defensibility and survivability. That is something the GR1 doesn't have. But why do you need defense when you have SRAM offense, right? For the rest, this plane has bombs, rockets and missile with the combos that the GR1 had as well, but that one had it with the SRAMs, and this one has it with the AIM-9Gs, which are not spectacular missiles, to be honest. And you can even call them lacking missiles when you get an up tier to top tier. Ammo load, only 2 missiles, and the 230s, I would call it, I still got it good. The firepower, I would still call it decent to good, but 2 or 4 missiles and then the superior missiles to 2 lesser missiles, it is just a far cry away from the Harrier GR.3. And the ammo load on this plane, well, it's still good, but half of the missiles, it's just not great. Not great, right? Can't make it any better. Acceleration is fantastic in a straight line and in the dive, even slightly better than the GR1. But yeah, we already know that. That is one of the main strengths of the Harrier, really helping with climb rate as well, and it's just a fantastic plane in the vertical. But yeah, when you run top tier, it's not the only one that can do that. So really in up tiers that advantage falls away. You do still have that advantage at its own battle rating and its down tiers. But yeah, if you have top tier players that know what they're doing with better missiles, and often 4 or 6 of them with much faster planes, this Harrier really starts to, you know, it starts to lose its shine because you don't have those SRAMs anymore that hit everything that you shoot at when you shoot it at a kilometer, you know. But anyway, energy retention in the horizontal and in the vertical is excellent. It really holds the speed well. Fantastic. It feels very good that way. Climb rate is also excellent. It's awesome in the vertical. Very good stall speed as well. So there is that. But she doesn't turn very well, so when you get on top of a stall maneuver, which is dangerous of course with missiles, but if you do suspect that somebody doesn't have missiles, you take them into the vertical. You do extremely long turns, you know, because of the atrocious turn time. Still very bad with flaps. Flaps rip off at around 870, which is alright, but yeah, that's actually pretty good. The flap rippage doesn't happen very quickly. Even the first end of the dive, it's awesome. When you come from altitude and you just stalled, and she holds that quite a long time. 870, of course, especially with flaps, slows you down. So you can use them a lot. Just don't do it when you're on full speed in a straight line. You will crash yourself into the ground. But anyway, still very bad turn time and really turns like a truck, like a bus, and it is not great. Many of the faster jets do also outturn you, and that is just the main, very big disadvantage of this plane. Roll rate is very good though, and the elevator is good enough to make some maneuvers to get the hell out of missile range. Combined with the flares, you are survivable, but you do have to have your head on a swivel, because on a swivel, because it just happens to you a lot in up tiers that planes are faster and they can sneak up on you very quickly, especially when there's a lot of planes on many different altitudes from many different directions, which happens a lot in jet gameplay. So you gotta keep your head turning. You gotta look around. Even more important than regularly, which is, it's already important normally, but with this plane definitely, as the flares play a vital role in your defense. As it's not speed, it's not turn rate, it is the flares combined with the roll rate that has to save you time and again. It doesn't always though, definitely doesn't always. Overall maneuverability is below average. Really, the atrocious turn time doesn't make up, the very good roll rate doesn't make up for the atrocious turn time, really doesn't. And you can see an example of this here, where the SU-7, which is of course turning down, so the gravity is helping him, but he is turning much quicker than I am. And he maneuvers on my tail because of it. I still had enough speed to go into the vertical, but the plane just didn't pull elevator enough. And well, it was a good bait in the end, but bloody hell. If an SU-7 can compete with me. Well, it was the situation as well a little bit, but bloody hell. Overheating is bad in this plane, really, really bad. It even felt a little bit worse than the GR1. It needs constant management. You need to constantly fly below 100 kilometers an hour, and that web usage is not really recommended, because you just overheat that much quicker, and it is a definite disadvantage, the overheating. You need constant management for that. You are constantly having to reserve at least 10 to 15% of your brain power to that overheating management, and it's well, again, it's another disadvantage for this plane that does not make it special when you lose the SRAMs. Again, I really have a strong opinion about this. I don't find the Harrier so special without those SRAMs. The durability is good. It can take a lot of damage. This is going to be illustrated in a sec here with one of the few of these attacks that I managed to survive. Doesn't happen a lot when you survive a missile attack like that. Apparently it hit my left missile pylon. Awesome. But this plane, man, boom and zoomer and energy fighter, that's what she does, and that's what it is, and it's very limited because of the lacking armament compared to the other one. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now I gotta say, man, these Harriers, everybody was like, oh, the Harriers, they're so OP. Yeah, the GR1 is above its battle rating with the SRAMs, and it especially was when it was 9.3. But it's 9.7 now. If they put it to 10.0, it's absolutely normal. I mean, you face so many planes then at top tier that can wreck your ass. And if you don't have the SRAMs, like in this Harrier GR.3, the regular one, it's a whole other story all of a sudden. I mean, these are not spectacular missiles. And then you run into the disadvantages of the Harrier. Not too fast, very bad at turning, doesn't have much elevator control, overheats very badly, that takes a lot of your attention. And of course, it has good stall speed, control stiffening for the roll rate isn't too bad. It comes in late. The firepower is decent to good with a 30mm. 30mm is nice. The AIM 9Gs are, well, that's the problem, right? At 9.7, when you compare them to the 4 SRAMs that the premium one has, it still has fantastic performance with the acceleration and the energy retention being so good. The climb rate being so good, that's all very nice. But you definitely run into the disadvantages of this plane without those overpowered SRAMs. And it just makes this plane a regular plane. I don't think any of the Harriers without those SRAMs are something to worry too much about. They are planes, they are competitive, but they are not that good without the SRAMs. They are just your regular old planes that many of other planes can compete against, putting advantages towards disadvantages. It's only the premium one that you could truly complain about with those 4 SRAMs. But this guy, with these 2 AIM 9Gs, well, you can handle them. That's for sure. And to fly them, well, it's a nice experience if you don't want to get the premium, but for the rest, this is the Harrier without the special feeling. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.